On our way, and all of a sudden, Laura decides start messaging in the group.
She got rented house in Banana Island to lie to people. Oh, she's dying inside of her. Because I said she was pimped. I said I was sleeping with small boys. Mention their names. I came with names. You know, I saw her. I was in the room.
This Baspos, this Baspos is on repeat mode. This Baspos coming from the Real Housewives of Lagos. It's on repeat mode. And guys, Laura is the chief in command. Is the queen in command of this Baspos. Like, really. I have a lot to share with you guys on this latest episode of The Real Housewives. If you guys are ready, strap your seat belt, sit tight, go nowhere. Make sure you watch this video from now to the very end because I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to give you the full gist. I'm going to tell you why this beef is going to be a continuous rada in The Real Housewives of Lagos. If you're in for it, please take this minute to hit on the red subscribe button. Of course, if you like reality shows or real-time stories, this is what we talk about here. Yes, please click on that red subscribe button right now. Turn on the post notification bells. And guys, let's get into the gist. Now, I have a lot to share with you when it comes to Real Housewives of Lagos, but you guys know how I do it. I kind of love to keep you in on the trend of conversation. So before I go into my own thoughts, before I analyze anything, before I tell you my own thoughts, I will just like laid out the way it happened in the Real Housewives of Lagos. I'm just going to tell you about the scenes that we experienced, we watched, and then afterwards we will go ahead with the gist. So guys, what literally happened was we already know that this episode was Mariam hosting the ladies, and guys, we basically saw Mariam, trying to figure out how to host the ladies. The husband came in and she was just gushing over how supportive he is. At the end of the day, Mariam ended up, having ideas of how to run the whole thing. The husband suggested, there should be name tags. They should pick their name tags. Mariam was like, I want to separate the women. And they were like, and the husband was like, let's do it in a very interesting manner where they have to pick. And basically she did all the planning and all that. Anyways, before that, we had actually seen Iyaboju's daughter have her birthday shoot with Tiana. Tiana styled her for her 21st birthday, all that thing. So anyways, at the end of the day, we actually saw those women assemble at Mariam's house. Mariam's house was really spectacular, gorgeous, beautiful, spacious. I mean, that kind of house we all dream to have. I mean, Mariam, I don't know, but I think I really love her swag. She's just this cool-headed, hot-headed. She talks a lot, yes, but I think I still like the fact that Mariam is one of the women in that particular show that actually gets to notice people when they have mood swings. So apparently, Iyabojo went to pick Tony, and they headed up to Mariam's house. They were the first to get there. They had to wait, and then Laura joined them. Now, apparently, Mariam probably had to go dress up and all that. She wasted their time, and then when she finally arrived to greet them in her living room, Laura gave her the cool shoulders and she was like, girlfriend, what's it? And Laura just started giving us mood swings right from the beginning. I mean, like right from the start. I mean, right from the word get go in Mariam's house, Laura was already giving the attitude. So you guys know the story. Choma and Caroline are the formidable latecomers, the fashionable latecomers. You literally had to wait for these women to arrive, and when they eventually arrived, Yabojo had it up to here, and she said, you know what, I'm going to talk about it if nobody's going to talk about it. This attitude of lateness has to stop, and Chema was just laughing about it, and Chema really is the perpetual latecomer, and eventually they ended up apologizing. And guys, it was quite interesting that while this whole conversation was going on, Laura did not utter a word. Laura did not utter a single word. And then afterwards, we started seeing Laura acting funny. Like, Laura was literally acting very funny. And Yabojo was like, what, I'm an actress and I know when somebody's acting. And that was when I started having my eyes on Laura. Like, I really wanted to know what Laura was going to play at. So it was more like Laura said she had champagne, so she was acting like she was drunk and all that, not talking. Like, for me, I just feel like Laura intentionally just wants a spotlight on her because she is so overwhelmed by how spontaneous, how how magnificent the women around her is. I feel Laura is seriously intimidated by the presence of all this, because literally hearing how she talked about Choma always being late because she wants to know if everybody's seated, she wants to be the person that is bringing the show, like eyes on her. Like, I just felt like Laura has this beef for Choma for just being that head turner. My 2 cents. If you think differently, let me know. So anyways, we saw Laura acting up, blah blah blah, and then everybody was trying to make her feel good and okay, comfortable, trying to talk about it. And eventually Mariam's next episode was that, after food, the food was gorgeous, meals had to be taken by some renowned chef, and eventually, guys, after that, we saw the scene where this woman literally had to go to the penthouse, and then there was this karaoke section, and then the booty dancing, everybody loosened up. We literally saw Laura loosen up in that episode, like the dancing, whatever. So it was just like a very memorable, interesting, amazing hangout with the women. No gospels, like literally everything that Mariam had prayed for, that should happen in her hanging and hosting this event literally happened. There was no gospels. It was all mild, calm, and everything. And guys, the next thing we saw was seeing Choma with her Good Way Foundation packaging stuffs, and the next thing she gets a call from Mariam, and she's like, you know what, something is happening. And the next thing we're seeing, the next thing we saw, I think Mariam actually complained to Choma about Laura's attitude. Laura was like, why would you tell somebody that their food, it doesn't taste good? Like, literally listening to we didn't hear that part in the scene. Like, I mean, maybe they edited that out, but we literally heard Choma say this, that how can you go to somebody's house and say my food, you're not gonna shit on my effort. Literally, I was like, if Laura said that and we did not hear that, I beg, the editing crew did us bad. So literally we saw Caroline join Choma in packaging the stuffs for the charity work, packaging the stuff for the charity outreach. And then eventually they were in the car, and then the next thing, SMSs started dropping. So apparently these women have a WhatsApp group where they probably have their mini chats or talk about maybe the next hangout and all that kind of thing. So Laura just started bombing them with so many SMSs, and it was like, you know what, I would have walked away. I just wanted to respect that it was Mariam. And it was Mariam's house. I didn't want to cause drama. You guys know that Mariam had warned this woman that if you do rubbish, I will send you out. I feel that threat was so necessary. And I feel like the reason why we did not see gospels in Mariam's house was because that she had clearly given this woman a stern warning that I don't want anything. This is my house. You have to respect my home and all that. So I felt like everything, all the drama that Laura wanted to give us, she had to save it up. And then after the show, it was now a Mariam aftermath fight, and literally we saw the SMSs pouring in, and it was more like there was this Twitter finger war, keyboard war that was happening. And the next thing, Caroline took it very personal, started hitting you guys. I don't know, but I think Choma is a bit calm than Caroline when it comes to Laura's case. So eventually the whole story ended up with Caroline saying, you know what, Laura has been pimped to meet people up. She's been a runs girl. Like the drama between these women, like, I don't know, but the spills that we get to hear in the Real Housewives of Lagos is so enormous. And sometimes I feel like, oh my god, I hope this does not end up affecting these women's real life. Like, literally, we actually heard about the Caroline story. Literally, we actually heard about the Kiki story. Now Laura, pimp. I mean, I literally felt that Laura at some point was threatened by the things that would happen. That was why she actually had to have that conversation with her husband. And then for some reason, Laura decided to bring up the stigmatization statement about divorced people. So what about divorce? Like, literally when Laura said she's divorced, I'm like, okay, girlfriend, what do you mean by that?
Wow.
So all the divorce, yeah.
So literally, guys, that was literally everything that cost the gospels. Now, eventually, the trailer for the next episode we saw was actually Yaboju calling on an emergency meeting, and we saw those women assemble. Hey, I am very sure that the next episode will be louder than this one we actually experienced. So one of the biggest questions I have to ask is, why is Laura so dramatic? I mean, why is she always trying to bring in the hits and the hates in the show? Is okay, I think she just decided to take the villain role. She's just trying to be more important. I mean, maybe she feels very threatened, but personally, on a different level, apart from the gospels, apart from the elements of the villain thing, I personally feel Choma Laura personally have a serious beef with Chioma, and it's just because she's jealous of Chioma. I don't know. This is just my simple, honest opinion. If you think differently, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Because please, can somebody just explain why Laura is always doing the extra? Like, everybody had a good day. These guys apologized like 100 times. They actually talked about this thing and, you know, dissected it, and they apologized multiple times. I mean, we heard Caroline apologize after Choma had apologized. Like, we heard the apologies a couple of times. So why did Laura feel like she needed to bring in a hit in the WhatsApp group? Whatever. You guys, let me really know your thoughts. I can't wait for the next episode already. I wish this was a daily show and not a weekly show. Anyways, this was literally everything that happened in the Real Housewives of Lagos. If you're feeling the show, let me know in the comment section. Guys, this will be it. I'll see you guys in the next video for now. Thank you so much for your watch time. So I'll see you next time. It's Julie here. Ciao, ciao, guys.